Well, that wasn't what I expected watching this movie. I just got out of watching Presence. This is a brand new psychological horror movie that just dropped. This is starring Lucy Liu, Chris Sullivan's in here, Kathleen Liang is in here. She's our main lead, and a bunch of other people. But this premise alone really sold me on checking this movie out. But what I got, it was very interesting, and we're going to get into all of that. I'm not going to dive into heavy spoilers. I definitely feel like this is a movie you should check out for yourself, because I think this is definitely going to have mixed reactions from different people. Now, with the premise, it's really interesting. So instead of getting like a haunted house movie, we get a POV of the entity itself, and we just follow the entity as it watches other people do its thing, and not knowing if this is a friendly or malicious spirit is what's kind of interesting. Um and it's really trippy at the same time, because as you're watching it, you're like, yeah, the camera's panning this way, that way, but the whole time it's this presence that's there, and this presence has no boundaries. Like, it's really gets really close to people. So we have Lucy Liu and her family that move into this new house, that this presence is there, and things are starting to, feel good, when you're starting to buy a new house. But as it starts to cut away and we kind of start to see time go on, things amongst the family isn't doing too well, whether it be Chris and Rebecca's marriage, and Rebecca kind of doing some shady business and not really being a great parent, only being a good parent to one kid, Ryan. That's the oldest son. He gets the most attention from Rebecca, where on the other side of things, Chris really is much more closer to Chloe, and Chloe is dealing with the loss of her best friend. So right there, the presence automatically starts to connect with Chloe, and not only Chloe, but connect to this whole entire family. And you just see how split this whole entire family is. Like I said, you have Chris and Chloe, which I feel like is the strongest relationship, or the strongest performance in this movie. And then you have Ryan and Rebecca, where they're just like a mirror of each other. They're narcissistic, they're very selfish. Rebecca has this whole hands off, just let the kid kind of deal with the grief on her own type of mentality, but she really doesn't give a fuck about Chloe. And those two are my biggest kind of issues with this movie, Ryan and Rebecca, just because you just don't care about them, or they don't really have a good resolve, I would say. Even though in Ryan's case, I'm more satisfied, to be honest, because just the way he was talking to his sister, just not really giving a fuck about how she's feeling or what she's dealing with. And now he brings around this friend Ryan, and this guy that plays Ryan, I definitely feel like you're going to see him pop up in more movies, because he did a really good performance in this. I'm not going to spoil what his role is in this movie, but very fascinating. But where this movie goes is not what I expected at all, because in my mind, going into this, I thought, okay, we're going to see the perspective of this malicious, evil entity. It's going to slowly kind of fuck with this family. And that's not right. That's not quite what happens in this movie. It kind of is flipped on its head. That's all I'll say. And I could see some people being disappointed in that and expecting a much darker movie in tone, even though there is a lot of dark themes throughout this movie, don't get me wrong, and I do appreciate the ending, even though it is one of those abrupt endings. Certain things will kind of leave you unsatisfied. Maybe that's on purpose. The more I think about it, the more I like certain aspects of this movie, certain things I didn't like. Like, I don't absolutely hate this movie. I actually enjoy the flip on everything. Just certain things with character decisions and certain arcs just didn't work for me. Besides Chloe, Ryan, and Chris's character, those three are the standouts. Everybody else is kind of like an afterthought. Funny enough, too, I feel like some people will laugh at this movie just because of certain dialogue or just certain scenes. Had this one guy next to me just laughing his ass off the whole time like he was watching like a horror comedy, and it definitely felt like that at times. Overall, I think this movie was okay. It didn't like blow my expectations out of the water. I was a little disappointed on certain things. The movie is a bit slow. It is a slow burn, which I didn't mind. It's just where it starts and where it ends. I feel like they could have made a more engaging story, or at least be a little bit more, I don't know, creepy. Or it's creepy, like I said, because the whole movie is the POV of this presence, but I wish the presence was a little bit more sinister, in my opinion. But like I said, I understand where it was going for. It is what it is. Let me know how you feel about this movie. Did it meet your expectations? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts. Till next time, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.